Do 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 do. Bang.
Better luck next time. I have it now.
Hello, Blood Bowl fans! I am Dr. Carnivean, and this is Rufus. And you're watching the Diabolical Sports Desk, where we say hello all you cool cats and kittens. Today we're going to be giving you a preview of the first game in the Diabolical Bracket Tournament. And a chance to win a Games Workshop Blood Bowl team box. Yes, a Chaos team in honor of the Corpse Feasters, a chosen team who is playing a home game against the Frightful 14. Well, we sure have an interesting matchup for our first game. Yep, standard for all teams in this tournament. Both of these teams have played in a single NAF tournament, and both came up short and took 0 awards for the day. What? First, we have the Corpse Feasters, who come in with a tournament record of a win, a loss, and a draw. The core of this team is the 4 Strength 4 chosen blockers, who each have block, tackle, and frenzy to help the Feasters dispense punishment to their opponents. Definitely. There are a bunch of bashy-style teams in the tournament, but the Corpse Feasters are probably the best at countering a fast and dodgy team like the Frightful 14. Insane Cancer also has claws, but that will have a minimal effect in this game since most of the other team is AV7, making claws a moot point. The icing on the curb stomp cake is a trio of Strength 5s. Their Minotaur, Rorschach, is a heavyweight with the block skill added on to his already formidable stats. The Glutton is a star player with the same stat line as Vomitflesh, giving them a bruiser with disturbing presence, foul appearance, and dirty player. And in a recruiting coup, the Corpse Feasters have signed Lord Borak the Despoiler himself to play for them in the tournament, bringing his skilled trio of block, mighty blow, and dirty player to bear on their opponents. The team has 6 Beastman Runners. Ball carrying is done mainly by Screamer, who has the sure hand skill for re-rolling ball pickup. The Corpse Feasters have no re-rolls, and they will have to rely solely on the block and tackle skills on the chosen players and the sure hands on the one Beastman. They also have no Apothecary, but they've got 13 players, leaving them 2 extra, and they're fairly sturdy with armor 8 and 9. Also, they're playing a team with elf stats. No, it doesn't. Wouldn't be Lord Borak if he didn't. Their main defensive scheme for this matchup is going to be putting the 3 Strength 5 monsters along the line of scrimmage in the center and the 4 Strength 4 block and tacklers walling off the wideout zones, making an intimidating barrier for a team of all Strength 3 players to have to deal with. Deep in the backfield, they'll have a quartet of beastmen, who have good mobility with movement 6, and with horns can blitz and get a 2-die block without any assistance against any of the players on the opposing team since they're all Strength 3. On offense, they're going to be all about bringing the pain to the Frightful 14, playing everyone up front except for Screamer, who will be fielding the kick with his sure hand skill, and Scraper as his bodyguard. The only space to get through the Feasters' line to make a run for the ball will still involve multiple dodges past a player with a tackle skill. The Frightful 14 is comprised of all Spider-Man villains and plays as a Pro-Elf/Elven Union team, which is a combination sure to short-circuit Josh Wojcik's brain. They made their first and only appearance to date at Crucible Street Brawl in October of 2018, where they went 0-4. I needed them to knock off my 24. This team is all about putting the ball in the air. Dr. Octopus is a star player with Valence stats, and he's all arms with agility 4, sure hand, safe throw, nerves of steel, accurate, and pass. So no matter where he is, he can always throw it 13 squares on a rerollable 4-up that can't be intercepted. He does. Green Goblin, Hobgoblin, Demogoblin, and Jack-o'-lantern are a fearsome foursome of receiving targets for Doc Ock, and he also has a backup receiver in Mysterio. He doesn't have block, but he's still one more movement 8 agility 4 player with dodge, nerves of steel, and catch, and he has a couple of extra tools in hypnotic gaze and pass block. Absolutely. The Lizard is the team's 3rd star player. And with movement 7, block, tackle, and mighty blow, he's the team's designated blitzer. Swarm and Sandman are also able to step up to the plate when needed for blitzing, with movement 7 and block, and they also have sidestep to make them trickier to pin down and help keep them from being crowd-surfed by the feasters. Yeah, those are going to be the only 2 players who could safely play within 3 squares of the edge against the corpse feasters. Electro, Scorpion, Shocker, and Tarantula are all skillless, but they've still got that movement 6 and agility 4. And finally, Kraven the Hunter is a backup kickoff receiver with the pass skill and also leader, which gives them their sole reroll. The Frightful 14 have no other rerolls, but they're all agility 4 with lots of dodge, catch, pass, and nerves of steel, so aren't desperate for rerolls. There's also no apothecary for the team, and their armor is definitely weak, but a 14-man roster of ne'er-do-wells good at dodging their way out of danger should go a long way to help keep 11 players for every kickoff. Fortunately, Mighty Blow is scarce on the Corpse Feasters team, and nobody has piling on. They've also got Dirty Player on 2 of the star players, but they won't be likely to risk getting expensive players ejected from the game unless they're already in a really good position. On offense, the 2 blitzers, Sandman and Swarm, will be lining up with Electro front and center, with Jack-o'-lantern and the Goblins 3 in the wideout spots. Lizard and Mysterio will be set to assist as needed, and Dr. Octopus will be back to receive the kick with Kraven there to give him some cover. If they could get more than one receiver into the backfield, it's going to be really hard for the Corpse Feasters to prevent the score, as they can only blitz one of them, and completing passes is going to be a pretty easy thing for this team. But getting into the backfield is going to be a real challenge for them with the Corpse Feasters' defensive scheme. They can either make 3 dodges against the 3 strength 5s in the center, or 3 dodges against the strength 4s in the wideouts, which would be a bad idea since they all have the tackle skill. Right. But still, the best they can do is to get a 1-die block against one of the strength 4 guys on the far end. If Mysterio can hypnotic gaze the guy next to him, they could get a 2-die block. On the other side of the ball, the Frightful 14's main defensive scheme is conservative, limiting the damage the Corpse Feasters can do to them on the first turn after receiving the kick, with only 3 skillless players on the line of scrimmage. Their main line of defense is played in the middle of their backfield, with Kraven the Hunter way back as a final guard against the score. It does. And as we said in the beginning, there's going to be a special prize up for grabs for one lucky viewer. You've seen the teams, their stats, and their playbook. Now it's time to pick a winner. And the number of casualties. To take your shot, post a comment to this video with your prediction for the score for each team and the number of casualties inflicted by each of them. Please, we all know I'm not a rocket scientist. So every little bit you can do to make your entry understandable is a big help. After getting the winning team right, the first tiebreaker is score, with the one closest to the correct score for each team winning. Second tiebreaker is casualties, again with the purses closest to the number of casualties inflicted by each side winning. Right, so it doesn't matter if you get the casualties exactly right or if you're closer to the score than anyone else if you pick the wrong team to win. For some more context to help you make your pick, as I did for the All-Star game, I'll be playing both sides while filming the game, and basically my goal going into each game will be to play the best 32 turns I possibly can. I set up the defensive and offensive schemes for each of the 2 teams prior to the game, and then modified the offense based on the look of the defense that was set up. Since there's no trophy for most casualties, each team will be playing to win, and each will definitely run in for the score the first time they could do it without risky die rolls. Also, there will be a sudden death overtime in case of a tie. Overtime will begin with a coin toss to determine who gets the ball first, and it will go until someone scores, so the game will not end in a tie. Good luck, and we'll see you on game day, Blood Bowl fans!